Okay, I'm back with another update. Wanted to show you guys some more things. First of all, I have this governor controlled throttle linkage setup hooked up, and basically what that's gonna do is my throttle is gonna hook up right here. This is an aftermarket piece, and that's going to control the throttle, of course, through this spring right here, and then up this rod, and then over here to the carburetor. And I'm going to explain to you later why I'm doing it this way, but let me show you the carburetor I've chosen for this project. This is a rotary carburetor. It's made for Tecumseh 7 through 9 horsepower flathead engines, also known as the Snow King engines. This one has a throttle bore that is 930 thousandths of an inch, just a little bit less than 1 inch bore. Pretty large though. I think the Venturi is about, let me see here, Venturi is about 800 thousandths, possibly 850 thousandths, but it is very large, especially for this engine. What I like to do when I got this today actually, and what I did is I partially took it apart, just made sure all the parts were in there and functioning properly, and gave it a good inspection. What I have up here is a Velcro gasket. Basically going to use this because the gasket that came with the carburetor is not going to cover up this port right here, this pulse port, for until it's an internal fuel pump. So I've got to use this. I'd actually flip it like that, cover up that hole. That'll help me be able to use this carburetor. I've disabled the return spring in order to be able to use it with this linkage, and I'll go ahead and put that together and explain more about what's going on. Okay, so I've got the carburetor mounted with the governor linkage hooked up, and this is the way it operates. When the motor's off, it's in the full throttle position, and then as the motor starts up and the internal counterweights start to spin, pulls this lever out, allows it to idle. And then if the engine started to slow down at idle, it'd open up the throttle plate to give it fuel, and that helps it to keep running on cold starts. I had to bend this choke lever because I know it's not going to work with my air cleaner setup. It's going to get in the way, so I bent it upwards. It's usually straight out on the Tecumseh engines. And the other thing with this project is, you know, it's another E85 engine, so I'll be testing E85 fuel in it first. And if that doesn't work out, I'll probably use the carburetor on something else. I don't know. I don't use gasoline fuels that much, not in my projects anyway. So back to the throttle setup. Okay, so you pull the throttle. Just gonna pull that. Of course, control the throttle up here, and that would get you to about 30 miles an hour. You know, on a vehicle, on a small vehicle. And so what I wanted to do is basically have a 2-speed setup. It wouldn't be 2 gears, you know, with the centrifugal clutch, but it'd be a 2-speed setup by using another throttle, either a thumb throttle or another, maybe a hidden throttle, and I'd use this, and then I'd connect this over here and on there. And what that allowed me to do is have the option of having, I would pull it there, so it'd be like full throttle, you know, and then like it would be like a second gear or a second speed, and so I could either only use the throttle cable for like 30 miles an hour, and hopefully by using the second throttle setup I get to maybe 50-60 miles an hour. And so then I'd have a choice, you know, wherever you're riding around, you know, you could be sure that you're going at a, you know, a suitable speed limit. I think some speed limits are 25, and you could actually adjust this to 25 miles an hour with this screw right here. This right here is the maximum governed throttle, and you'd actually screw that in and you could slow down the top speed of the governed linkage. And you know, that's one thing I like about this linkage setup. Yeah, I might have to paint this. It's starting to get some corrosion on it. But with the second throttle linkage idea, you know, I could hook up a thumb throttle and go like 50-60 miles an hour, and that'd be pretty awesome to be able to, you know, have you know, the two speeds. So if anyone ever's done that before, you know, let me know how it worked out. And yeah, I should be getting the rest of the parts to build this engine soon. Like, hopefully the end of the week I'll have them, and then I could start putting this motor back together, get it complete, and start testing this out, and start trying to tune the carburetor for E85, and just see how, you know, this works out. Of course, I bought the fully adjustable high and low speed needle carburetor, and kind of excited to see how that works out. So hopefully I'll have that done soon.